Have you ever spent 3 straight hours in a Roblox weightlifting simulator, clicking like a maniac just to get a pet that is literally a cube with a face? And then, right in the middle of the heavy grind, your internet goes out, or the server crashes, and you find yourself staring at your own dark reflection in the monitor, wondering what on earth you are doing with your existence. Well, congratulations, legends, you just had a purely philosophical moment. That feeling of, why am I even playing if I am just going to turn off the console eventually, is exactly what Albert Camus called the absurd. Today we are going to talk about this French guy who had more drip than your avatar with infinite Robux. Camus wrote a book called The Myth of Sisyphus, which is basically a strategy guide for when life gives you mental lag. Imagine that life is one giant Roblox server. You log in, expecting to find a tutorial, clear quests, an admin who tells you the rules and gives you rewards for being a good player. But it turns out the server is empty. There is no tutorial, there is no admin, and the chat is disabled. You scream out looking for meaning, asking what the goal of the game is, and the universe responds with an awkward silence, like when you talk to an NPC that is glitched out. That clash between your desire to find meaning in everything and the absolute silence of the world is what Camus defines as the absurd. It is not that life has no meaning, it is that you are desperately looking for one where there is none. It is like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole in a game with terrible physics. It just does not fit, and you get frustrated. So, Albert tells us that when faced with this massive system bug, players usually react in 3 ways. Pay attention, because this is vital if you do not want to get tilted. The first option is the rage quit. In other words, choosing the final departure. Camus says this is admitting that the game has beaten you. It is leaving the server because you do not understand the mechanics. And spoiler alert, Camus says this is not the solution because it deletes the problem without actually solving it. The second option is what he calls philosophical self-negation. This is when you make up a story that there is a secret admin watching you and that if you farm enough karma, he will give you access to the VIP server when your journey concludes. Basically, it is a leap of faith. You tell yourself a story to avoid feeling the void. It is like believing that a glitch allowing you to dupe items is an official mechanic. Camus says this is just lying to yourself. And then there is the third option, the true pro player move. Rebellion, accepting that the game is broken, that there is no admin, that the code is a disaster, and yet deciding to play it with the highest possible skill. This is where Sisyphus comes in. This guy is a character from Greek mythology that the gods punished with a repetitive task on the level of a Korean mining simulator. His punishment was to push a giant boulder up a mountain. But here is the catch, every time he reached the top, the rock would roll all the way back down and he had to start from scratch. For all eternity. Sounds familiar, right? It is literally any grind-heavy game. You reach level 100, you prestige, and you go back to level 1. Or you wake up, go to work or school, come back, sleep, and repeat. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is the infinite loop. To most people, Sisyphus is a loser, a noob trapped in a death loop. But Camus puts on his sunglasses and says, wait a minute. Camus is interested in the exact moment the rock falls. When Sisyphus has to walk back down the mountain to start over, in that moment, he is not using his strength. He is thinking. Sisyphus realizes that his fate is absurd. He knows he is never going to win. There is no platinum trophy at the end. And by being aware of that, he becomes superior to his punishment. It is like when you play an impossible obby knowing you are going to die 500 times. You are no longer playing to win. You are playing for the challenge, for the laughs, to see how far you can get. Camus gives us a quote that is absolute gold. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Yes, happy pushing that big rock. Because his rebellion consists of finding joy in the effort itself. The struggle toward the heights is enough to fill a person's heart, or an avatar's heart. This applies to your life. Maybe you think that studying for that exam or working 8 hours makes no sense because eventually we all end up back in the lobby. And in a way, you are right. The universe is not going to give you a medal, but you can hack the system with your attitude. You decide that the rock is yours, that this is your game, that even if the server is going to shut down one day, today you are going to build the most epic house possible. Living the absurd means living without hope for a magical future, but with a brutal passion for the present. It is enjoying the textures, the music, the bugs, everything. You do not need an external developer to validate you. You are the master of your own actions. The lack of meaning in life is exactly what gives you absolute freedom. If life had a fixed meaning, we would be robots following a script. But since it has no meaning, you write the script. You are a sandbox with creative mode turned on in your mind. So the next time you feel like you are repeating the same thing day after day, remember Sisyphus. Do not look at the top of the mountain as the final goal. Enjoy the texture of the rock, the scenery as you climb, the strength of your virtual muscles. Make the grind your art. Life is not a speed run to get to death as fast as possible. It is a casual playthrough where the important thing is the emergent gameplay. Camus invites us to live with intensity, to be rebels against the nothingness, to tell the universe, I do not care that you do not make sense, I am going to have a blast anyway. Maybe we are just pixels on a giant screen that nobody is watching, but we are the most stubborn and loudest pixels on the server. So friends, do not look for the end of the game. It does not exist. The game is this. It is this video. It is the dinner you will have later. It is the meme you are going to send to your crush. Embrace the absurd. Carry your rock with pride. And if it falls, just laugh and go back down for it with style. I hope this blew your mind as much as it did mine. If you enjoyed this existentialist chat, hit the like button because that actually does give my algorithm meaning. See you in the next respawn. Keep playing.